Well, good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome to Monday night's edition of FSU Weather. Here we're going to start off with a live look at Doak. We've got some clouds in the sky. Pretty bright day out, though, 91 degrees. It's another hot day into this hot and dry month that we've had here. Partly cloudy, some relief for you there. And your temperatures across the region, across our viewing area, 80s for the most part, but 91 here in Tallahassee. We're not the worst. Quincy is still at 93 here. And then we take a look at our headlines. We're going to be taking a look at the tropics right now. We've got a lot of activity coming up, which of course we'll talk to you more about later. But we're also going to talk about our forecast with the rain potential coming up. We've had this long, hot, dry stretch here. We might get just a little bit of rain here in the next couple of days. And your Mythbuster Monday, as always, all this and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Daniela Streety.
And I'm Ainsley Goble.
And wow, another hot day, but it is the first day of fall. Doesn't really feel like it.
Yeah, that is crazy to me right now. It has just been so hot and so dry throughout the whole month, and I'm hoping for a little bit of relief here soon.
Yes, me too. I know that I went to the football game on Saturday. It was extremely hot. We did, however, get a lightning delay from a cell in Woodville. So that was the little bit of rain Tallahassee has gotten in since the Alabama game. So basically the whole entire month of September.
Yeah, and I think it's been like at Tallahassee's airport where they usually record our metrics. It's been 0 inches of rain recorded.
Yes.
So we've had some stuff in the surrounding areas, but in terms of Tallahassee's official numbers, nothing, nada.
Exactly, and those rain chances have remained slim. Of course, you know, weather here has been fairly quiet, but those tropics have been actually getting pretty active in the last couple of days. Taking a look right now, we have two areas of concern across the Atlantic as we see over here. We see a 70% chance of development within the next 7 days, and it just, you know, this red blobs, we got orange blobs as well. And again, we also have Hurricane Gabrielle that has been now a Category 4 hurricane. It was an organized system, and now it is now a Category 4 rapid intensification overnight as well. So there's a huge issue going on with that out in the Atlantic, but thankfully it is no threat to land as of right now. But across the local, we're seeing lots of blue skies and some cumulus clouds across the region. And again, that live radar across Tallahassee, we are seeing a pop-up shower in Lowndes County, and that is about as much rain as the region is seeing today. That's about the 20% that they were calling for. And again, those hot temperatures, it is a lava pool across the Big Bend in South Georgia. We're seeing 93 in Quincy, in those upper 80s to our east and closer to the coast as well. We're seeing 85 down in Apalachicola. Those dew points are staying fairly muggy as well. I know a lot of people went on a run this morning, could definitely feel the difference as they were getting a lot sweatier and could feel the moisture in the air. And those feels like temperatures again are also seeing some mid-90s, especially here in Quincy, and same goes for Perry as well down in Taylor County. Tonight it's going to be very mild and muggy. Those lows sitting in the 70s for much of us. Thomasville a little bit luckier seeing those upper 60s tonight as well. And as we take a look into the next day or so, passing clouds and a couple of pop-up showers into your Tuesday. And again, pop-up showers across the area, but most of us are going to stay dry. Not everyone is going to see rain, and that is going to be the trend to your midweek. If you're going to go walk your furry friend tomorrow morning, the earlier the better. In all honesty, those lower 70s are going to be right before sunrise. But of course, as that sun's going to start to creep out tomorrow morning, it is going to get much warmer a lot quicker. So the earlier you go, the more your furry friend will love it. I can tell you that. And going into tonight, those 80s are going to drop once the sun goes down. And again, those 70s are going to stick around for the rest of your night into your morning. But now we're going to take a closer look to the state of Florida with Ainsley seeing those showers. We got some moisture going around.
Yes, we do. Thanks, Daniela. So we're going to take a broad look at Florida right now. It's mostly affecting down south there in the peninsula, kicking up over southwest Florida, making its way northward. It's not really associated with any kind of boundary at this point, but it is moving sort of like one as it makes its way northward here. As we take a look a little bit closer up to the Panhandle, Atlantic Ocean, just a couple of pop-up showers. All of this non-severe for the moment, just those average Florida thunderstorms. In terms of our temperatures though, 90 here in Tallahassee, but 80s for the most part. We've had hot and dry conditions up here in the Panhandle, but it's always been a different story with the peninsula this month as well. As we take a look at tonight's lows, it's going to drop down into the 70s, not as low here in the Panhandle as we have had it, and that's going to be because our dew points have been a little higher. It's a little less of a contrast from the day to night, but typical temperatures down there in the Floridian Peninsula. As we take a look at what the future might look like, it's not really all that decisive, just those average Florida thunderstorms kicking up during the daytime with that daytime heating, and a couple of passing clouds there for the back end of the week. As we take a look at tomorrow's forecast, we're going to heat back up into the 90s again here in Tallahassee, 93. Just bear with us. We are not entirely sure when fall will make its appearance, but we're hoping it is soon. We're in the upper 80s for the most part here in the next couple of days, but 80s for the most part across a lot of the well, no, really just 89 here in Pensacola. My bad, 90s for the most part here. 80s as you get a little bit further south down there. And we're going to take a little bit of a broader look at the southeast. A couple of clouds there, Daniela.
Yeah, so we definitely got some haziness going on in New Orleans right now. And again, those grayer skies in Birmingham, but mostly clear skies sitting at 87 in Tampa, mostly blue skies as well. Nashville, a little bit on the cloudier side, expecting some storms ramping up in the southeast right now. And that's where we're going to take a look into the southeast, especially focusing on Arkansas and Mississippi. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for the following areas: Lee County, Phillips County, and Tunica County, and that is until 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So we still got some time with that system. Again, the risks with that storm is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and up to a 1/4 inch of hail as well. So for those in that area, please stay inside and take shelter, as this is some dangerous situation, especially for those in mobile homes or driving on the road as well. And that brings us into the threat of severe weather going into your Tuesday, especially for those in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. There's a slight risk of severe weather going into tomorrow, and that is the threat again of some hail, severe thunderstorm gusts 60 miles per hour or greater, as well as isolated tornadoes as well are part of the ingredients of this system going into tomorrow. And that heat is definitely staying persistent across the southeast, not just Florida, it's everywhere. So we see 91 in Shreveport right now, as well as Jackson, Mississippi. Nashville getting a little bit cooler, but because of those storms in the area, and Charlotte sitting at 85. So those 80s and 90s has really been most of the trend for the southeast, and those dew points are staying pretty muggy, as well as we got that moisture from the Gulf providing a lot of that muggier temperature and also that fuel for that severe weather that Arkansas is going to see tomorrow as well. Current heat index, we even see 100 in Shreveport right now, staying very, very, very hot over there. And again, those 80s and 90s for the heat index is continuing the trend across the southeast. And tonight it's going to stay pretty mild, as much as Florida was, as well as we had previously discussed, seeing those 70s as your lows, and upper 60s as well. So a little bit cooler, but not too much of a difference. And tomorrow again, we're going to see that lava pool of red across the southeast, seeing those 80s and 90s, 95 in Shreveport, some showers and storms possible in Nashville, keeping them a little bit on the cooler side in those 80s. But now we're going to shift it to the national with Ansley. Is there more showers and storms to be expected?
Oh yes, of course. It's a busy day here in the U.S. in terms of the national. Right now we're going to start with a look at Kentucky and into Ohio. We've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, some of them producing tornadoes, it looks like. So just make sure to have your plan in place, get in shelter if that is what your local meteorologists are telling you to do. In terms of your radar satellite out there in Colorado, just a lot of showers coming off of the Rockies, but they're going to be moving into a more unstable environment in the Great Plains. It's going to make way for some severe storms later on in the night and rolling into tomorrow. In terms of Louisiana, we do have a couple of pop-ups there, nothing too severe at the moment right there, but still not a super pleasant night to get outside. SPC outlook for tomorrow, you're going to see the slight risk here in Oklahoma. There's a tiny core of it here that could see the potential for some tornadoes. Nothing to really be alarmed about, but just always have your plan in place so you're not blindsided. Hail and winds are the main factor here, so just always make sure to take care of what you got to get inside when you know those storms are about to hit. In terms of our current temperatures, we're seeing that gradient that we used to see in like the fall and winter time. It was really hot over the past couple of weeks, but we're finally starting to see it be a little cooler in places like Billings. But for the Panhandle, Tallahassee, we're still warm, but we're getting a little bit more muggy. We were dry, 63 here. Tallahassee's doing okay, but the southeast in general is getting a little more muggy. Out west still staying dry, and that's going to carry on over into the drought monitor. You can kind of see that out west still Arizona entirely encapsulated in some state of drought. North Dakota is the only state that isn't dealing with it, and us here in the Tallahassee area, we have seen drought creep into our county ward area, and that is because we've gotten no rain in the month of September, leading from a slight drought into a little bit of a moderate drought. This is what the storm predictor or future radar is going to show you as it moves across the plains and kind of gathers up along Alabama, Mississippi, leading up into the rest of the northeast there in the next couple of days. In terms of tonight's temperatures, it's going to dip down a little lower as you get a little further north and further out in those drier areas. But for us here in the Panhandle, we're going to stay a little bit warmer for our evening lows, 77 down there in Tampa. And for tomorrow, we're going to heat right back up, a little bit less of that green and blue that we were seeing, but still just a little bit better. Not so much for us down here in Tallahassee, not for you in San Antonio, but just bear with us. Hopefully we will be out of the woods here soon. This is what it's going to show you for the next couple of days here. A little bit of relief coming to places like El Paso. Some of the warmth concentrating up a little bit further north, so they're taking their turn with that as well. But for us here in Tallahassee, it's another little bit of warm stretch for us here. Now we are going to take it on over to the desk that I'm walking over to right now to join Daniela for Mythbuster Monday.
Yeah, so Mythbuster Monday is this, I believe, our third segment of Mythbuster Monday?
I think so.
Yeah. So we're definitely doing some heat lightning today is the theme. So it's a common myth that a lot of people, I know growing up, a lot of people would tell me about heat lightning, and a little weather nerd me was like, is that actually true? Because but everyone says it is, so it must be true. Well, false.
False, yeah. Believe so.
Yep. It is false, and the reasoning behind that is actually because of it's still lightning. It's still a thunderstorm. So it's just one of those things that it's just far away, guys. So it's not actually it's a thunderstorm, like I said, and it is still a thunderstorm. There's no difference between the lightning, so it isn't special at all. It's just everyday lightning you see in an everyday thunderstorm. It just happens to be far away where the thunder can't reach your ears.
Yeah, I actually don't know all that much about heat lightning. I've heard a little bit, but I'll read this from the thing for you. The lightning can be seen from over 100 miles away, which makes sense. And usually when lightning is that far away, it's a positive lightning strike, right? Which is relatively rare, so that's why people probably don't know too much about the heat lightning. But typically fades within 10 to 15 miles, or sound of thunder fades within 10 to 15 miles. That would make sense. It would kind of like slow down after that point. So if you see lightning at all, even if you don't hear the thunder, you should definitely get indoors, as it's saying on there. And yeah, it's a warning that the storm is still a threat and closer than it seems.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, everyone who said heat lightning was a thing when I was growing up, I can now officially tell them it's false. Like you can't, and I have the full explanation now, so I can completely outsmart them, which I guess will make me
Is it more of a thing down south here? Am I just maybe missing something?
No, I think it's something that happens down south. Everyone I grew up around, at least, but that could also just be the people I grew up around.
Yeah, either that or I live under a rock.
Yeah, exactly.
I
mean, yeah, it's just one of those things, and it's now another, I guess, pocket of knowledge that I can just hold in the back of my head from now on. But yeah, we did have a couple of tech errors at the beginning of this show. We do want to give you an update on the tropics, so we'll get to that very shortly. Again, we have these two disturbances out in the Atlantic to watch right now. Seen right here in the orange, there is a 10% chance of development within the next 48 hours, 50% chance within the next 7 days. And that is this orange system right here. And the potential for Florida impact is still unknown at the moment. We have to give it some more time, but we will keep an eye on that for you guys. We're also keeping an eye on this system right here where this red X is located. That has a 30% chance of development into a tropical system in the next 48 hours, 80% chance within the next 7 days. And this is the next priority that we are going to keep an eye on for the next couple of days. And now the other story for the tropics today is Gabrielle, who is a very disorganized system going over the weekend, and now it is rapidly intensified overnight into a major hurricane this morning. Now, as the recent 5 p.m. advisory, it is a Category 4 hurricane with max sustained winds at 140 miles per hour, moving north-northeast roughly at 12 miles per hour. So a very slow trajectory. Pressure has dropped to 948 millibars, and is it expected to keep this northeastward shift out into the North Atlantic, into those cooler waters, will then dissipate. No threat to land is anticipated right now as it's moving just east of Bermuda. So the highest risks will be seen in Bermuda, probably with high surf and lots of showers as well. But they're going to stay on that western side of the storm, which will be very fortunate for them as they will not get as much rain or wind since they're going to be on the less dirtier side of that system. But that is the update right now for your tropics. And now we're going to close it out for you guys just here shortly. So yeah, there's a lot going on finally in this season. Just you know, it's funny because last week I feel like maybe it's me, maybe I jinxed us because I went to the last show and I said, dare I say it's quiet. Yeah. 3 days later.
That would happen to us
maybe,
on a Monday.
Maybe I just need to keep my mouth shut, guys. Maybe I just don't need to say anything because, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, coming in hot on a Monday here. I mean, what do you think with the tropics? Do you think we'll get any? I mean, we've seen no action here. Usually every year we get a little bit of school off for hurricanes, but I don't think it's going to happen.
You know, at this point, anything is possible. You know, I don't want to say anything because I already think I jinxed us once. I don't want to say anything else again. But, you know, it would be historical if not only Florida, but the entire continental United States went a full hurricane season with no landfall.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
It would be magical, especially after a year like last year. I feel like that's what everyone deserves.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can only hope and pray that that is what is in the cards, but we'll still keep an eye out and watch that for you guys. And make sure to follow us on X here at FSU Weather.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And also don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
And also subscribe on YouTube at FSU Weather.
And one last thing, don't forget, follow us on TikTok at FSU Weather. And here's your last look at the 7-day forecast.